So I don't know how that happened. Basically, it's like we're down.
Because I'm shooting 230 grains of paint.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for swinging by. I sure do appreciate it. If this is your first time with the channel, my name is Mark.
Oh, hi Mark.
Welcome to Fit and Fire. Let's get into this video. Now, the argument that has been transcending the decades of whether or not 45 AARP is better than 9mm is a tale as old as time, just like is the 1911 better than the Glock. In my opinion, I think that the 45 has better ballistics than the 9mm, especially when it comes to foot-pounds of energy. But at the end of the day, 15 rounds of 9mm is better than 8 rounds of 45. However, with the FNX-45 Tactical, you are getting 15 rounds of 45 AARP, which should close the debate on whether this pistol is better than 9mm. We're going to talk about that in this video, but before we get into it any further, let's take a break for this video's sponsor. All right, guys, you know that I'm not going to do an ad read unless I like, and most importantly, use the product, which is why today's sponsor is Vertex. I've been a longtime fan of the cutback tactical pants that I've worn through many workouts, competitions, training courses, and just everyday wear since 2020. Vertex now has the Defiant jeans that is not only a new favorite of mine, but also my camera guy and podcast co-host, Hefe Actual. But hands down, my new favorite go-to is the Delta Stretch 2.1 pants due to its common appearance yet rugged construction, awesome for work or play. Vertex is also known for their EDC fanny packs, backpacks, and gloves. The Assault 2.0 gloves are the ones that I'm absolutely loving at the range right now. Take 15% off your entire order by using code FITANDFIRE. You heard me correct, 15% off when you use the code FITNFIRE at checkout. It's a great way to tell Vertex I sent you while getting some great gear. Link and code in the pinned comment. Go check it out. All right, so thanks for bearing with me on that. I do want to say a quick thank you to Shocker Shooter. He loaned this pistol to me, purchased it used, so I have no idea how many rounds were put through this before I got it, but I have put 200 rounds through it in the last few days. Not only zeroing the red dot that I have on here, which is a Siley Wolf Pro, great inexpensive red dot. I would recommend it if you guys are interested. I'll leave a link to all of that in the pinned comment. But in those 200 rounds, I had 0 failures to feed, fire, or eject, exactly what you would expect from someone like FN. Now, this pistol started its life as the FN FNX-45 Tactical and was introduced into the JCP program, or the Joint Combat Pistol Program, back in 2005. And I believe, you guys might need to correct me down in the comment section down below, but I believe that the M1945 is what ended up winning out. Essentially, that program had 3 callouts. It needed to be chambered in 45 ACP. It needed to have a threaded barrel for a suppressor, and also needed to have a Picatinny section to add a light or a laser or something like that. Obviously, this checks all of those blocks, but also has the new adaptation with the FNX-45 Tactical of having a slide cut as well. So there is that really interesting lineage, and I'm glad that in 2009 they started offering this to the US public. Now let's do a little bit of a quick overview on this. As you can see, this is slide cut for a red dot. It has suppressor height sights, threaded barrel, Picatinny section for a light, just like we have already mentioned. But some of the other great things is that it's fully ambidextrous. It has a slide stop, slide release on either side, thumb safety / decocker on both sides, and you can drop the mag from both sides as well, so that's pretty good. Again, this is going to be capable of holding 15 rounds of 230 grains of pain, which is also really, really nice. It's going to have a 5.3-inch barrel because of that extended threaded portion on here. So longer barrel is going to give you a little bit more velocity for the 45 as well. Now, one of the things that I really love about 45, I'm a big 1911 fan, and I have really enjoyed shooting 45 because it has a different recoil impulse than 9mm. 9mm is a little snappy depending on barrel lengths and stuff like that, whereas the 45 is just kind of a push style of recoil. So it's a little bit more manageable, even though it's a heavier, larger caliber. For most people, shooting 45 is not going to be too much different than shooting 9mm, and I kind of proved that point. A couple nights ago, I did shoot this in a kind of Wildcat IDPA match, and out of 7 participants, I came in 4th. So not bad, not great, but at the same time, I was shooting against guys who had CZ Shadow 2s and a host of different, like Gucci out Glocks and stuff like that, and was still able to beat several other people as well. So take that for what you will. I did slow down quite a bit when shooting this in competition to ensure that I was getting accurate shots on target. And in addition to that, I was running into some issues with this trigger. Not any like issues when it comes to its functionality or reliability. Rather, this is going to be a double action, single action, polymer frame, hammer fired pistol that is going to have a very heavy double action trigger. So you're looking at, oh man, I'm going to say probably around that 10-pound, 11-pound trigger pull. So there is that portion of it. Here is your single action trigger pull. It's going to have a lot of slop on the, a lot of tech up on the initial pull, and then it's going to be kind of a bit of a rolling break. It doesn't seem as there's a profound wall like there was, say, with the Beretta 92X RDO that I reviewed. I really like that pistol, had more of a wall and not so much of a rolling break. And then here is your reset, and then your break again. The reset is pretty good, but again, that break on this, not too good. The next thing is when I was shooting this in competition, I would obviously load the magazine, chamber around, and then place it on safe. Basically cocked and locked, if you will. And as I would draw, I found in a couple stages I would swipe the safety off, but I would do it too hard and actually end up decocking it. So there is a couple of stages where I'm drawn, and then as I start to pull the trigger, I'm like, oh, that's really heavy, and now I need to remember to, ease back on how quickly I'm pulling that trigger to make sure that I'm not shooting low left. So I had to slow down and make sure, okay, there's the brake on the trigger, right? So that was one of the biggest things that I didn't like about this pistol, is that if you get into this the safety too hard as you're drawing, you're going to decock it. So I had to be mindful of that. In addition to that, wasn't a big fan of the trigger. It does just fine. It may end up being just fine for you as well, but at the end of the day, those are my 2 biggest complaints when it comes to the functionality of this pistol. My other complaint is going to be the price on this. The standard FNX-45 is hovering right around that $800 to $850 mark, depending on when and where you buy it. This right now is coming in somewhere around that $1,100 to $1,200 mark, depending again on when and where you buy it. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that has to do with the fact that you are getting a threaded barrel, suppressor height tritium filled night sights and a slide cut as well. And I would kind of agree with that, especially now if you're purchasing one of these brand new, you're getting 5 magazines plus mounting solutions for your red dot as well. So there is a bit of a justification when it comes to the price point, but realistically, in today's market with what we're seeing as other offerings available on the market, I think that this probably should come in right around that $950 to $1,000 instead of $1,200. But that's just my opinion. It's just some idiot on the internet. So there is that. Let's talk about my shooting experience in the first 100 rounds of just zeroing the red dot and kind of getting familiar with it and then shooting it in competition as well. I will say that this is quite possibly one of the more accurate pistols that I've looked at in the last probably year or so. I was able to put 2 of 3 rounds on top of each other at 25 yards within a inch square, which I thought was really super cool. And then in competition, there were a number of targets that I put rounds right on top of each other as well. Moving fast, yeah, the targets are only like, I don't know, 7 yards away, but moving fast and then putting rounds right on top of each other in a zone, under stress, under time, I thought was really, really great. So having a pistol that is not only accurate, but fun to shoot, I think is also a major plus. Now, is this something that you would want to use as a concealed carry pistol? For me, no. This is way too thick. You're talking 1.54 inches wide, I think, at its widest point, and then you're going to have a 5.3 inch barrel on this. So concealed carrying this pistol for someone like myself probably wouldn't be very feasible. I'm pretty short. I'm 5'7". I've got Doug Flutie hands, so you know, I'm kind of shorter and smaller than your average guy. So something like this, probably not meant for me. However, I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there who are taller, you know, stockier, who could feasibly carry one of these as a concealed carry pistol, should you want to do that. However, I will say that this is a great option for a duty style pistol, especially if you want something a little bit more, you know, has a little bit more oomph than 9mm. You definitely could run this and be just fine. As you can see, I've got a TLR1 HL on here. I'm running this on most of my pistols because this interfaces very, very well with the Black Hawk Omnivore, you know, level 2 holster, I think, whatever it is. And I really do like that holster. I have been running that for several years now, and it has done great. I can put just about any pistol into that holster running the TLR1 HL, and it's going to lock into place each and every single time, regardless if that is going to be my CZ SP01 Tactical or the Prodigy that I have right here, the Smith & Wesson Prodigy, this, a Glock, CZ, P10F, P10C, it doesn't matter. That has been a great setup for me, so I really, really do like that. So that just about covers my, you know, review of the FNX-45 Tactical. I think that this is a great pistol. It's a lot of fun to shoot. Is it right for everybody? Probably not, but at the end of the day, I had a great time checking it out and bringing this video to you guys. Again, huge thanks to Shocker Shooter for supporting the channel in every way that he does. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, you can do that through a number of different ways. Subscribing, liking, sharing is a great way to do that. Number 2 is if you want to donate into the tip jar, you can do that to help pay for ammunition for these reviews. Or if you just want to purchase something from Vertex and use my code to get 15% off, I'll have all of that information in the description and the pinned comment as well. So really do appreciate you guys' support and allowing me to pretty much get through another year. We're almost at the end of the year, and I really do appreciate you guys swinging by and checking this out. With all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thanks so much once again. We'll catch you guys next time. As always, freedom through strength. Here comes a high five. Bye, y'all.